Hello, YouTube and Discord. It's me, PJ, and I am here in place of bsocks for hosting the YFZ 17 Chaos Return Finals. Who do we have? Who's here from the Discord watching? We're just gonna these guys are gonna get started in about 10 to 13 minutes. Just allocating some extra time for some people to roll in and watch. Yeah, this has been quite a dynamic tournament. Stepping into one of the GX eras of the game. And we have Hoy. We have our first finalist here, Hoy. Hoy here is ready to take on Big Ben himself. He has pushed his way into the top 8, now reaching the top 2, piloting a Chaos Recruiter style of deck. Against bsocks' very interesting Dark World burn deck that was mostly inspired by another user, Zoeberg, in the previous tournament. And speaking of previous tournaments, we want to talk about the amount of decks that people have brought into these past events to kind of give a little bit of history of the Chaos Return. It is the April 2006 limit list, ban list, and going into the up to August 2006, the card pool. So based on past events, we can see sorry, OBS is messing up. Based on past events, we've had a number of different styles of decks reaching top cut. We got a combination of chaos based decks, the warrior package, of course, the Stein shenanigans. This is a Stein format, so it is one of those formats where games just kind of end, even if a player's at the 5-6k threshold of life. I also want to talk about this Dark World burn deck you see here. Now, this isn't bsocks' exact list, but the idea of the opponent's list is that kind of explosiveness from the Dark World monsters, and as well as adding some extra burn just to punch in harder. You see stuff like the Fairy Lily. You bring out the guys like Gold to thunder in on the board, and it's a nice little punish tactic too for players that are taking cards like Spirit Reaper. Some players on the Chaos strategy may be piloting things like Morphing Jar and card destruction. It can give players the player on Dark Worlds like kind of a gross advantage when they punish the other player. As you can see, there's a number of different ways to build and different strategies to take. I actually have a little bit of a list of the different decks people have brought to this YFZ 17 tournament. We're going to open up another past tournament, the ETC6. Sorry, I'm getting myself mixed up. I also have a bit of a cold, so I'm sorry if my voice is a bit stuffy. But nonetheless, I'm still happy to be broadcasting. I just can't do a whole lot of loud. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit quiet, just because I have a bit of a cold. Some people of you delved into macro strategies. Alethea topped last tournament with the macro cards. You got to see Defu. Well, I mean macro without macro. You have Banisher and Defu, Dimensional Fissure, which pretty much do the same thing of banishing cards and shutting off the chaos related strategies. We see YGO from Zero, Big Ben's in the chat, or bsocks as I'll just say. Yeah, both our finalists are here. I'm just doing a brief rundown of the past tournament. bsocks has actually gotten into the top cut before in this in this format. Here he was on Stein Monarch last time, which even in our tournament, that is the most that is the highest represented deck for the tournament we just did. I counted at least 5 Stein Monarch decks. Now there is but it is quite dispersed, the amount of decks, and I understand I'm kind of repeating myself at this point because I didn't plan it out, but we have at least 4 different chaos related decks between a combination of control and return. Sorry, chaos based decks were the most represented, and then followed up by Stein Monarch, which kind of delves into the chaos engine more or less. We have seen a number of rogue and spicy lists. I could argue that bsocks Dark World Burn is a spicy list because it is a burn deck. You're not using a lot of the conventional cards that the other decks are using, because you are squeezing things like Fairy Lily. You are squeezing things like the dimension. Oh god, dimension. The dimension card that burns for effect battle damage. I'm struggling with the names here. Dimensional Wall, sorry. I have a couple other lists, like we saw one person delved into like Chaos and Dark World. We have a few Macro Warriors, a Macro Monarch, Pure Warriors. We have interesting, one of our top cuts, Andrew Lee was on a Chaos Zombie. Squeezing in things like the Pyramid Turtles in. I don't deserve to credit. Yeah, I did talk briefly about it was inspired by Zoeberg's list that he brought, so credit does go to Zoeberg, another Discord user who played in the past tournaments, so credit goes in for the deck. Yes, I got the name, I remember the name correctly. We had one Stein Monarch. Alethea came in with his Banisher package, but he was stopped by bsocks, so bsocks did take down the Chaos Return Titan, so get ready, Hoy, because bsocks is out for blood. He wants that second YFC championship. Yes, we did see Library FTK. We saw Claudia was on RGT. We did see someone on Stein OTK, and we had Chef Soul. He was piloting a Hero Turbo package. So there was a combination of people playing meta, people complete road, people playing, I don't want to say jank, but people playing some unconventional strategies. Well, I guess it's janky. And a few people on the stun decks, the macro, the screw you, don't play the game kind of deal. So anyway, it's been quite interesting tournament, even though 24 players and everybody was kind of on something a little bit different. Some people, yeah, were on just like the Stein Monarch. Some people just did like the net decking, and some people got very creative. And that's kind of the fun thing about this community, is that we have a combination of players willing to delve into different options, different tech. Well, other people can display a high level of skill. Actually, I did skip over one of the more unique lists, and that was Splevin, who was in the top 4. He's on a unique kind of interesting kind of machine beat package, and it was more of a deck that he, from the future, because it was based on his deck that he'd run in Trooper tournaments before, that was involving a package of the Cyber Phoenix. Did see the Fairy Lily from him as well, so a few different tech cards have spawned out and have shown their they've shown their ability to help win out some games. I think Lily was a bit of an underdog as a card in this format, in this tournament, because she just comes in and hits that 3k, puts them under the Stein cost. You hit over things like the Monarchs. If you have to hit over any of the big guys like the Cyber Twin, you can. So All being said, there are some like drawbacks with the format itself. I noticed like we have things like Confi, the triple dust shoot. You still have a lot of the kind of degen cards. You can argue Graceful is an incredibly sacky card because you're just coming in with the draw 3, discard 2, and you pull 3 cards out of your deck and you can just snowball like crazy. So does it have its drawbacks? Yeah, it is GX era, it is the Stein era, but that doesn't mean that we can't like build upon it further. So I love the Forbidden Memories OST. We're rocking in the backgrounds. It's a classic. The game itself, I don't know. It's it's a hard bargain, but yeah. The best part about Lily is the part where you, oh yeah, Karibo. Yeah, she does kind of, she can get baited by the Karibo. That is granted. The player does have the Karibo in hand or like inside. It is a common side card because, you know, you don't want to get killed out by Stein out of nowhere. You know. So I understand on that front. I personally haven't had the best experience in this format, but it's great that other people have because we want to get people more involved in these older formats and kind of tap into the game at the time, the era, the different possibilities that did exist. So it's nice to it's a nice experience to be able to it's a nice experience to be able to jump like back in time, like to a period that some people like myself kind of missed out in the competitive side of things, or you know, even just casual, just having fun, having some fun with things. All right, that's enough rambling and ranting from me. These guys are about to get started real soon, so I'm just gonna dim the music for now. We are nearing start time. Well, in just about a few minutes, we'll have bsocks and Hoy coming in to start their game. Yeah, it's a fine format. I mean, there's definitely formats that are way more or understand they feel way more streamlined. There's definitely formats with a lot less flexibility that we've all experienced. It just for me, it felt a lot more in the Saki side of things, just because you bring out cards like Charity, and the double knock is back. So if you really need your set monster to go off and do work, like you can just get completely screwed. Um, your opponent can. It is one of those formats where your opponent can just have the nuts and completely blow you out one-sided. That just sounds wrong. Okay, again, I've rambled enough. These guys are about to get started here. We see bsocks hosting in the lobby. We'll just wait for Hoy to join up, and we can get started. Yo, GMYFS, what is going on? I see you. I see you. What is up? I just got busy rambling about Chaos Return. That is what's up, and we're about to watch a finals, and I'm eager to what happens with Chaos Recruiter versus Dark World Burn. Or is it like Dark World Aggro? It's on the fence between like an aggro and a burn. There's like burn cards, but not the conventional burn cards. It's like aggro, but I feel like it's more like an aggro deck. Nice layout, thanks, man. I if I at least do something, I can at least get some nice layouts and designs. And, that's enough about me. Let's see what's happening with these guys here. And we're about to start. Okay. Guys, are you ready? This is the Chaos Return Finals. Is bsocks going to take the crown with the Dark Worlds, or is Hoy going to be our new YFZ champion? Strap yourselves in and let's get started. The game is now underway. We got Hoy starting off. Hoy's going off. He's just 1 ERPs. He's going to draw for turn. Every move is going to be very important. Is it? I think it's bugged for me. So, is Return being played? I will not reveal the details yet. You're gonna come with an Archfiend Soldier, set back one, back row pass, and his bsocks gonna go off Return. The Dust Shoot's gonna come out. There we go. There's that. I'm sorry. DB is bugged. I might have to refresh quickly while these guys. Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to refresh just because it's bugged on my side. I'll quickly jump back in. Okay, we didn't miss too much. We didn't miss too much. Life points are normal. That that would be a stupid crutch if you only started 4,050 life points. You couldn't activate Send. All right, we didn't miss much. So the Trap Dust Shoot. It's always that decision with Trap Dust Shoot. Make sure you want to send back the right thing. You want to make sure you're jotting down, thinking about everything your opponent has. Now, is that lone Archfiend Soldier? Is that gonna hold off against bsocks' game plan? We do have this is our first bit of attack that we're actually seeing. Not really that common to be seeing a normal monster in this period of the game, but Hoi seems to have a plan with it. It is something that can hit over. It's something that can hit over a handful of the warrior monsters, for example, or if the opponent is rocking cards like Kaiku. Hoi's gonna come in for turn. He's staring down a T-pose. Doesn't appear to be a trap, does she? He's got Dark World Lightning to deal with, the cross out, the gold, the ceasefire, and oh god, the interface is tweaking out again. I cannot see that. Ceasefire, peace something. I think that's a brain con. I think my anyway, Hoi thinking very critically about the T-pose here. Smart of Hoi to not set monsters in this matchup because he's not only against the double knock, but he's got to deal with the Dark World Lightning, which is going to hit set cards and be able to throw gold onto the field. Or Silva. Hoi did send back the gold. Taking careful consideration to this card. The Magician of Faith is going to be summoned in attack. Hoi's probably looking for a creature swap play. No, he's just going to attack in. He's going to hit the Phoenix. Phoenix is going to go down. Hoi's going to attack directly with the Magician of Faith. Very peculiar, just like put into attack position. Looks like it could just get mowed over on a bsocks' cards. But he's gonna punch in for that 300. He did obviously have to play around like Knock and Dark World Lightning. So I understand setting Faith would be a huge mistake. The Stein is gonna be dropped. Is this gonna be lights? Is this gonna be curtains? The Cyber Twin's gonna come in. The Brain Con is gonna come in. Is Hoi gonna get hurt here? What's gonna happen? Let's do the math quick. Let's do the math. 8,000 life points. Can bsocks finish Hoi in his turn? Oh, the ceasefire is gonna come out. It's gonna deal 1,500 damage to Hoi. Gonna put it at 6,500. This could be lights. Does Hoi have the Karibo? That's gonna do 2,500 damage. Gonna put down to 4,000. The extra attack, and I think Hoi is going to go down unless he has a Karibo to be able to block when it hits. bsocks, absolutely ruthless, comes in with that Stein, seals off the first game. bsocks out for blood, showing no mercy. That is, and this is where we get into the problem side of these early GX formats, the Stein just ending games right out of the blue. Poor Hoi did not have an answer to the Stein being dropped. We are going to go into siding, and we are going to get into this game 2 here. Hoi's not out of the woods yet. He has to crawl back from the loss. which is means bsocks will be going first in game 3. It could provide a huge advantage. Those Cyber Phoenixes proving to be very useful engine cards, being able to draw after being destroyed by battle. Alright, we're gonna get into this game 2. Hoy's gonna start us off once again. The Archfiend Soldier coming in. Set 1. Is this a trap? It does shoot. Nope, we're gonna go right into the main phase. The Cyber Dragon's gonna be dropped. Coming in with that ruthless 2100 points. The MST is gonna strike in, hit the Royal Decree. bsocks clearing out that trap card gate. He's gonna smack over the Archfiend Soldier. That is gonna chip Hoy for 200 damage. Set 1, set a monster, pass back. Hoy staring down 2 monsters in the set. Hopefully having the means to take the game back from bsocks. Gonna drop his own Cyber Dragon. Gonna go into crash the 2 monsters. That's gonna be a clean crash. Hoy does have to be careful if he plans to set any cards, because bsocks could have that Dark World Lightning in gold primed. Every move is critical. Every move is crucial. 8,000 life points is proving to not be a safe threshold no matter what. Oh god. What's going on? The Borg is going to be dropped. Gonna smack in. The last will. Oh no. Oh no. Is this SJC06? It's SJC06. Oh my gosh. Folks, it happened. It happened. We had a Shonen Jump Championships December 06. Just ban Stein now. Just ban him now. This ain't right. Oh my gosh. The famous words David said to Mario in the SJC06 after pulling off the Stein OTK. This has probably been the shortest YFZ finals that we have had out of 17 tournaments now. This has probably been the shortest game that we had, and yeah, it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. I commend both players for coming to the finals. They played extremely well. But with all due respect, Hoy came a long way, but so sorry that Stein just ended it right there. Whew. Jeez. That's brutal. That's ruthless. Well, anyway, regardless of what happened, we do have to congratulate bsocks for getting his second YFC champion title. His first one coming back from the first YFC one from Treasure, and now he has come back and has won the Chaos Return tournament, and he is our new Chaos Return champion. Hoy, congratulations for being a runner-up in the event. You should be very proud of your progress. And it's unfortunate it happened, but yeah. Just pray and hope that that we won't go in the Stein format. We don't get the same thing. Anyway, it was really fun, regardless, to hype up the event and at least be able to showcase the match. Maybe we can get these guys in on a call and get some of their thoughts and opinions about it. I'm gonna get on this. I'm gonna get on this Discord here and see if these guys want to chat about it. I want to get our players' thoughts on this finals. I'm just gonna give him a call. Let's call bsocks.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Unfortunately, Hoy does not have a mic. But I think Hoy's in YouTube chat.
He is in the YouTube,
Um,
so he can hear us. But yeah, what a way to end, eh? It's like
yeah,
I was watching SJC06, man.
I mean, truly, the more skillful player won here. You know, this was just pure skill here. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if a lesser player could have won these games. Truly, with the hands I got there. I mean, it's definitely tough to navigate.
Yeah,
No,
it's hard to
this was
say.
Well, I mean, okay, so like I'm joking around, but like
Of
you know,
course,
there
yeah.
is some level of skill to these Stein formats, but you know, sometimes you just get hands that kind of play themselves if you played a bit of the deck. Like there was game one, you know, a moment I was considering like, oh, maybe I just get aggressive here, put them out of Stein range, summon out Phoenix, brain con the Archfiend Soldier, and attack in. But I was like, I don't really have a reason to do that. If they've got knock, I've got ceasefire. If they summon out Zaborg, that's bad, but like I'm probably losing no matter what. They summon out Zaborg, and they have will for Stein or something. So, but also watching Hoy's replays, I knew that they were on more of a typical chaos deck. So I figured they wouldn't have that sort of aggressive early play. So I felt fine just setting the Phoenix. But that was really the only decision I made that game because right off of Phoenix, I drew Stein. So I was like, oh, the game's over. You know, even if they set a back row, I've got Dark World Lightning. You know, if they had set them off instead, I had knock for that. So there really wasn't anything they could do game one. And they were right to take the gold as opposed to the Phoenix because, you know, I would have just brain con the soldier, tributed over for gold, gotten in 2300 that way. So I still would have had a really annoying monster on board for them to deal with. And then I had knock, lightning, etc. if they wanted to set into that. So there was really nothing they could do game one. And then game two was just like, I mean, there was really nothing they could do game two because game two
Yeah.
I just like
Very
basically OTK'd them immediately. So
very difficult match for
um,
Hoy considering you had a lot of set destruction removal. Running the Nobleman across us and the Dark World Lightnings, Hoy had a very difficult time setting up his board. And yeah, I do agree that he had a lot going against him just initially going to the finals, playing the deck that he was. I mean, yeah, his deck would have has showcased a little bit of skill expression in the past duels, and it was just unfortunate the way it was. And but you had
yeah, and I mean,
but hey, the
yeah, Hoy is one of the best players in the Discord and in the community. So, you know, it definitely like, you know, if I had not opened as nuts as I did, you know, this would have been a very different game. But, I mean, that's Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, that's this format especially with the Stein stuff, um, does lead to non-games like this, and this is definitely yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily know if that would have helped Hoy. Like on in all honesty, like I would add knock, and Dark World Lightning either way there. Um, and I was drawing Stein as my next draw anyway, so like with the true benefit of hindsight, like it really would not have mattered at all. Um, but yeah, it wouldn't have really helped. I think you were fine going for the knock there, or not the knock, the Moff there. Mixed up my acronyms, but I think it was a fine play on your part. It's just I drew into Stein very next draw, so um, wouldn't have really mattered there. I will say it is interesting. Like my deck is very well suited to face Hoy's deck, but it actually was not well suited to face a lot of the sort of macro decks, right? Macro monarchs or things like that, because when they stick a Fisher, or they stick, you know, a Banish of the Radiance or something, and I can't clear it, then a lot of my decks shut off because the Dark Worlds can't go to grave. Treeborn Frog's dead. Sire Phoenix doesn't get those draws. And I actually did face two macro monarch players in the tournament, but I think that deck is just while it does have a good matchup against Dark World, it also is particularly weak after siding, and also there's inherent flaws in the deck that prevent it from being like super good in this format. I think so. I think Dark World's a really good pick because one of the biggest sort of decks that hate out against it is not the best in this tournament. And also, I think just in the future, people won't be playing it in as many tournaments because it didn't do well here. And I think just in general, if you play the deck a bunch, you're like, oh, wow, this, on paper, this sounds great if I can set it up. But like oftentimes you're just breaking on one half of the deck or another. And it's very unfortunate.
Alethea did get into the top 8, as he usually does, again. And
Yes,
he
but
did make
Alethea,
some.
I think, was playing more of a warrior deck, not necessarily a full-on macro deck. But I don't quite know. I need to watch all their replays.
No,
To be
he
sure,
did.
but
He was exclusively on the Banisher. I did not see him on the Macro or Defu. Sorry,
yeah,
Dimensional
and
Painter. Sorry, I
the
got right.
Banisher. Oh no worries. It's your stream. I'm the one interrupting you. Um, yeah, but the Banisher is like not as bad for this deck to deal with because it's got Sidras. It can wall up with Phoenix if it really needs to. I mean, Alefia's probably gonna have a different monster to beat over the Phoenix, but like there are things this deck can do against a monster that it can't quite do as well against like spells and traps. But that's why we got Mobius in the side. We got ways to deal with it in the side deck, but um, it can definitely be a bit tough if they manage to get that set up.
So I wanted to ask. So as with, what do you think? What do you think the future looks like for Chaos Return tournaments going forward? Should we continue to push for those tournaments, or more come up, regardless if someone opens a Discord or if FL decides they want to host an event for it? What do you see as like the future prospects for this format, and what people direction will go into? Will people continue to try more, go stick to the Chaos, take more like the Stein Monarch, maybe try this Dark World Burn? Now that we had a second and a first place for this deck, I think this deck is a threat, as shown. There are a lot of
Oh
tools to
yeah,
work with.
Dark World
So
all the
yeah,
way. Dark World, Dark World forever. The
call A
best deck in the
Murphy.
format. Yeah. Well, I think honestly, like, the biggest hurdle this format has, one is Stein, but also standing out from other Stein formats because, like, if people are gonna push for one Stein format or over another, it's like, well, why am I playing this format if this other format's more popular and it also just has Stein OTK running around everywhere, right? So like, it kind of feels almost like, you know, oh, there's gonna be one Stein format that ultimately prevails among the Stein formats that get played, because frankly, not too many people like this sort of Stein OTK dynamics there. And so like having multiple different formats with this style of Stein OTK deck around and prospering, it seems like unsustainable to me at least. So it's a bit tricky because you never know what people are going to enjoy. I always say, like, even if I don't really enjoy a format the most, like there are people out there who will enjoy it and like it, and so I could definitely see maybe in the future, once we reach a time when people are just playing more old formats in general, maybe there will be more focus on like Chaos Return and Reaper and all these different Stein formats for their own merits. But I think in general, it's just got a very, very hard uphill battle. But I mean, people do like Chaos Return. They like a lot of people say it's better than Reaper. But like I think Reaper's got the household name right now. And while a lot of people did leave Reaper because it just turned into Standard TK stuff, it's sort of in a similar spot to Chaos Return where like Standard TK is very powerful. Maybe not the tier 0 threat that a lot of people view it as, but it is very strong and will end games. There will be a lot of non-games for Stein. And if people are just looking at a format from the outside in, they see Graceful Charity and Chaos Return, and they're like, well, that format's even more sacky because it got Graceful. Part of the reasons why people jumped to Reaper was because it didn't have Trinity pieces in it. And Graceful is a piece of the Trinity, and people don't necessarily like that as much. But maybe the allure of Dark World will help people, latch on to Chaos Return.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I said as something I had just mentioned before I started us in the finals was that it's like I personally didn't have the best experience in this format, but I feel like other people may have. Whether even if you see like all this Stein stuff running around, like there's something for everybody to. There's something for like anyone can grab into for like any of these formats we explore, and it's different. It's interesting the different kind of audiences you get going through whether it's DM, GX, 5Ds, and you see players have a passion for one format and then this passion for another. And it's interesting to see the dynamics because Yu-Gi-Oh is never really just one definitive experience. It's a it's a whole like a plethora of different formats and decks to explore.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I've seen people say, "Okay, return format's great, but when I play it, with my friends, we gentleman ban Stein, so we're not playing with that, and it's just one of the best formats ever." Um, and so it could potentially thrive in a thing like that. Like I've seen people, looking for perfect circle games on DB where they say no crush card, please, right?
Yep.
And people are fine to play that. So maybe it will thrive in that sort of environment, but. In general, I prefer just to play formats as they were at the time. I think a lot of people do as well, in like the major competitive settings. And so I don't know if that's the way forward for the format, but maybe it's something. I mean, as you say, people will latch on to, different things because Yu-Gi-Oh is not one definitive experience, and that's what makes it great. And so I am curious to see what people do with this. As far
Cool.
as I know, there isn't a Chaos Return Discord server yet, but maybe there will be. Maybe
Yeah.
people will play it a lot.
Right on.
I mean, we didn't think there'd be a cyber format Discord, and yet you went and made it, and we got the first tournament starting off today, so that's very exciting, and hopefully we'll get to see that grow. But yeah, I mean,
I'm
as Hoy
sure.
says, Shake 'em finals went like this,
Yeah, I'm so
but
sorry, Hoy.
there's
That's unfortunate. Like,
yeah
um, before I let you go, I want one
yeah.
last question. Last question. Now we're rolling in. What are your prospects of going into Stein? Are you excited or what
Oh
do you
yeah,
thought?
I'm looking forward
Yeah.
for some
Early thoughts
Stein
on
format
Stein
gameplay
format?
in the
Yeah.
tournament. I will be releasing a video, probably before the Stein tournament begins, just comparing and contrasting all the different formats where you have the Cyber Stein OTK going on. But I think Stein format's fun because, like, I do think that the limit list does change a lot, where there's no chaos anymore, so that's not another deck to sort of contest Stein. Also, Ring of Destruction being back makes the deck a lot more threatening as well. Double Exiled fuels its like last will's a bit better. So I think Stein OTK is the best deck in Stein format. I mean, you can play this Dark World deck in Stein format as well. So I'd be curious to see if people are going to basically adjust this list for Stein format. I think it can potentially be very good there as well. So we'll have to see what happens at the next tournament. But it should be fun. I mean, it's like if you play these formats, if you're signing up for a format known as Stein format, you're going to expect some level of sackiness, right? You're going to expect some level of non-games. You hope that it doesn't turn out like this in the finals, but sometimes it does. And that's just, the name of the game, right? So I think it'll be fun just to play around with it, kind of like Chaos format where, like, you're just playing it with it before it goes away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't have
And
nobody has to
we'll,
like love these formats, and there's never the incentive
yeah.
like that you have to like love the experiences. It's the experience. You figure out why you
Oh
love
yeah.
it and love you hate it. And I've heard people even say like going to sackiness. I've heard like people say like Edison is very sacky because you can you can set up all your trap cards and put all your cards on the board, like set up your frogs on the board, and or even goat you pull into charity and you set up everything you need. So there's different sackiness. The sackiness is different in every format, more or less.
Oh yeah. And Yu-Gi-Oh is a game full of sackiness. That's an
Yeah.
element of it. It's not chess. You don't have perfect information from the outset. You don't start the game the same way every time,
No.
and that's part of what makes it fun. But also, it's something where, like, I feel like a lot of people try out formats and they're like, I need to have this format be the next Edison, right, or the next Goat, or like the next like format that everyone plays. Everyone plays like super competitively and they love it and stuff, and it's just a perfect format. Not every format has to be that. Stein format will never be that format, right? But
No.
like it can be fun to play around with, and so hopefully people give that tournament a shot. And
Cool.
that probably will be beginning around the 11th, like that weekend at least. So there'll be more announcements on that in the future, though.
And one last thing I want to say before I want to sign this off is yes, I have started Cyber and that's going. We got our Stein tournament that's coming up. That's great. And anybody who wants to double in the future a bit, their perfect circle is a few days away on Fortnite Library from being set up. And I have something special planned for the end of August, so stay tuned. I'll show it off in the Discord when I get there. It's a little
Very nice.
surprise. For a new tournament.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'll leave you guys at that cliffhanger. I'm gonna sign off here. Bsocks, thanks for sharing your thoughts, and congratulations on your win. Albeit as sacky as it is, a win is a win, man.
Yeah, a win's a win. You know,
The Dark Worlds will look glorious on that format library front page, and yeah.
oh yeah. And maybe this will get more people to play Dark World in Stein format and beyond. We'll have to see.
Anyway, all right, that's the end of the stream, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the Discord. I will see you in the next stream, and yeah, go out play some Yu-Gi-Oh. Have fun.